Okay, so now I have to go to the other screen, right? Not here, no. Where's the other screen? Okay, here. All right, guys, can you hear me well?
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so today's Lunch and Learn is going to be about how to manage difficult clients. The idea of this talk is to be in the position of looking at project in a different way. So all of you are inside a project, and sometimes you're going to find this difficult situation, know how to handle. And the idea behind this is to identify these problems and see how can you manage them better than usual. It's a very stressful situation when you're in this position. And that I'm going to show you, the better you're going to be. Some of the tricks that I'm going to show you are based on experience of managed several difficult clients. And what I can tell you is that you're going to be able to do this not only as a project lead or project manager or a client. You can be as a developer as well. You can use this trick as a developer to get into a better position. So we're gonna start. We all have these ideal projects, right? So we're gonna start with the technical PM. We have a technical PM, a project manager that knows what you're talking about. He or she understands the technology very well. Basically, she's a programmer, but now she's a developer, project manager. So when you explain her something, she's gonna be, oh, nice. Why do you do this or why do you do that? That's a perfect scenario, right? Technical BA, a business analyst. So he goes and creates the stories inside Jira. They're technical, they're very detailed. A technical PO is a product owner. He understands technology as well. He knows exactly what to say. He tells you exactly how it should be built. That's a perfect project. A deadline, but it's tight, but it's rational. We're gonna do this in 3 months, but we have 6 people. All right, it seems that a nice deadline. There's a technical client, so sometimes you have the agency, like Tom or your client, and then there's the final client, the university or the other client, and they're technical too. They come and they put technical people, and they say, oh, okay, why did the deadline take so long? It's because you have to build all this. Okay, that makes sense. You have great dev peers. All your peers are very senior. They are the best in the world, and you have to build this with the best devs ever. The project is challenging but manageable. You have to build this project that is challenging. It's a pretty cool thing, and you can do it. There's nothing you have not done in the past. It is a cool project. It's cool, very nice. Nice design. It's something that you always wanted to do, and so it's a cool project. And then you never have to worry about nights and weekends. You don't have to work ever on the weekends. That's a perfect project, right? I don't know if you have ever had this situation.
Never.
Right? Sometimes you have very close enough, but this is what we're looking for. So I will say that if you have 70% of this, you're okay. 70. So there's always some part that's gonna fail. So the real project, that's now You know, I don't know. Lynette PM. I don't know. I mean, Alvaro is here, but Alvaro knows exactly what I'm talking about when I put that name. But we don't people. But Lynette was a character. Was one person that came at 5 p.m. Just put a bomb. Boom, guys! You have to do this for tomorrow, 7 a.m. At 5 p.m. on a Friday. You know, that's the kind of project managers that is hell. You know, it's like those typical. It's like a mandatory meeting Saturday 5 a.m. You know, it's like, dude, I'm sleeping. No, you have to. So a difficult project manager is somebody that is not technical. It's a little bit of a sociopath. So and they go and they just check that the work is done. It's like, hey, how are you guys doing? Okay, see you tomorrow. And then if the project is not done, then they will become very upset. They don't get involved. They get involved in the outside, and they will go like, hey, how are you guys doing? Good. Okay, thank you. See you in 2 hours. And then they don't try to understand. So this is very common. I guess you all have 1 p.m. like that. They don't try to understand. Deadline. You know, you see the asterisco is a 6-month work. Hey guys, you are 2 developers. You have to finish this in 2 months, but it's a 6-month project. What? Yes, I'm sorry. Goodbye. Boom. You know, the client does not cooperate. You know, this is the client like the university. Like, okay, but you still have to do it in 2 months. But it's a 6-month project. I don't care. You got to do it in 2 months. So that's another typical thing. Is like not only your direct boss or who you're working with is difficult, but your client. You know, the final person that goes there. You know, you are expert in and all of a sudden say, okay, you gotta work with this developer. He's a junior guy that only knows C++. Okay, cool. So what am I gonna do with this guy? I don't know, but you still have to do it in 2 months. Right? And with the client, right? Okay, so that's a very typical thing. This is almost the most typical thing we're gonna have. You know? Yes. Somebody that is a junior guy or more junior than you, and then you have to deal with it. You know, not challenging, impossible. You know, some of the things is like, hey, I want this feature that Facebook has, and I want that thing in my project. Facebook just spent like $3 million in that. No, I don't care. You don't have to do it. So that's a typical thing too. Something that it's a technology or something that you cannot do. You know, a boring project is also something. Yeah, okay, this is cool, but it's a very boring project. You know, some software for administrative stuff. Then you gotta work for nights and weekends. You know, all nights and weekends for the next 6 months. Cool. Right? Everyone loves working at night and weekends. So this is more or less the problems that you find in a difficult project. So this is the perfect scenario. You know, this is the nightmare project. You know, we just passed one with Mauricio. I passed this like 4 times with Alvaro. I passed this in the past. Like, I had this. This is my specialty. In the US, they used to call me when projects are like this, in fire. What happens when you have these projects? You know, usually. So I'm gonna tell you this. Like, the project manager doesn't get involved. So the developers start working on it without the project manager getting involved. The client wants something different that they told you at the beginning, and the junior dev, you as a senior dev or a senior person, he will start working in their own stuff. You never tell the client that that's impossible to do, And because it's a boring project, you don't want to work. And you don't like working nights and weekends, so the first 4 weeks you don't do nothing. So instead of being a 2-month project, it ended up a 6-month work project. You start working in week 4 because the client that does not cooperate and gets involved in 3 weeks just told the people that, where's the project? That's very normal. So you start working 4 weeks later because of this stupid scenario, and who do you think is gonna get the blame? You, the developer, or the project manager, if you're the project manager, or the tech lead, or whoever is in the front lines of the fight. So the client's gonna tell the PM, why is this not ready? I don't know. Let me ask the developer. But why is not that ready? And then nobody has an answer. And what I'm telling you is that it's because of all this getting together. Okay. So how to identify a fucked up project? Usually it smells like shit, So the first thing you have to do, any project, is identify the people involved, right? So there's this sociopath at work is have to start looking at. And this can happen in all levels. It can happen in your peers, the client, the PM. So the first thing is like, I'm dealing with normal people or I'm dealing with sociopaths. What I can tell you is that at Job City, we don't hire sociopaths. That's the first thing we filter. It's hard to filter because the concept of sociopath is somebody that will look of himself or herself in the expense of others. So it's never your fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And you're going to always look away or benefit yourself to either go to a better position or to save your ass. In any part of life, we have to play a little bit sociopath, but if you do this constantly in the way of living, you are considered a sociopath. There's a book that I read about it. It's called Snakes in Suits. That explains you exactly this, and this is very important in all aspects of your life, because these people can drain you. Let's say that is we all had these sociopaths in school when we were in high school or in university. It's like, hey, can you help me with your homework? I don't have time. My girlfriend broke up with me. I'm depressed. Okay, here. The first time is okay, or 1 to 2 times. If it's a way of living, then this guy doesn't do work. And this can go in any aspect of this. Like here, that's why I quickly met, but at the same time, you can find this in the developer, in the client, inside your team, all around. The other thing that you have to do is find out if the team is complete. How are you going to find if the team is complete? The typical problem here is like, they tell you it's a 2-month deadline and it's a 6-month work. And you just have only, to make it in 2 months, you need at least 5 developers. So if you see that at the beginning of the project, speak up. Raise your hand. Say like, this is too little people. We're not going to make it. Day 1, not day month 2, because if you start doing it in 4 weeks, the problem is that in the second period they're going to push you and everyone's going to be upset. So try to do it as quick as possible, Another way is like, what do I mean is like if the team is complete. If for example, if the project manager and is a pain in the ass, guess who has to get that role? You. Don't wait. Start putting to the rules of the game. If you start being a boss and you start being a reliable member of a team, the PM's boss are gonna notice, and they're gonna give you more responsibility, and you're gonna gain credibility, respect, and leadership. Don't wait. If you know what to do, speak up. You know, give it a chance to the project manager to see if he's a real thing or nothing. But for example, your PM is really good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
She's awesome, right?
Yeah.
She knows exactly where she gets involved. She's not very technical, but she gets involved. She asks things. She tests stuff. You know, your PMs is the worst, right? Both. They're like, you know, why is this not ready? And what do you mean? Can you explain me? No, that's your job. You should check it. No, you're the PM. You should guide me, not me. But don't wait. Instead of, you recognize that person, you have to do the other job. If you're complaining and whining and saying, oh, why I had this PM, the project gonna fail, it's your fault. You know. Does the team has enough experience? So if you're gonna get a junior guy, speak up, say, hey, I'm getting this guy. Nothing personal, but you're a junior, and I don't know if I can make it with you. First thing is like make sure that everyone knows that the guy is junior, or the other person knows less than you. Because junior means not necessarily that he's a bad developer. Junior can mean also that he works in another technology, he's just starting off in your technology, and he doesn't know enough. So there are two things that you need to do with that. If you realize that your team doesn't have enough experience, your PM doesn't have enough experience, your dev doesn't have enough experience, what you need to do is to speak up and then to be patient and start, mentoring more. Like, what if you have a junior guy? Like, don't leave him alone. Don't start like giving broad. They don't know how to do it. You gotta do more mentoring. You gotta get more involved. Yes, that's gonna take more time from your development time, but that can save you a lot of hours of fixing these things. Like, let's say, okay, build a whole section, junior guy. Figure it out. Okay, in 1 month or 2 weeks, this guy does it awful. So the client comes in, this is shit. You need to fix it. So the PM goes in, okay, who's the best people here? Okay, you are, not the junior, because everyone knows who the junior is. So what happened? No, the junior guy did. Okay, you do it, but instead of 2 weeks, you have 1 day. What happens? You gotta. Why? Because they have the client has a presentation with the board of users or the board of the. So the lack of mentorship and the lack of patience. Because the perfect scenario again is like, hey, I don't want this junior guy, put me a senior guy. Okay, no, nobody's gonna do it. It's like, no, you're fucked. You have to work with this guy. So instead of like be more patient, but if the person is not gonna make it, then you have to speak up. So I'm not gonna work with this guy. This guy is not good enough. Don't do that with another job street guy. No, I'm just kidding. No, if the person is not good enough, you have to speak up. Always with a respectful thing. It's not personal. This is something that if you cannot run at the speed that we need to, like there's something we can do. Or, mentor. Mentor is very important because it's gonna save your ass. It's gonna save you, and then you get as a very, very, very nice person. Did they brought you to stop a fire? That's very important. That's usually my role. When a client, they don't know what to do, everything is on shit, and everything is broken. They used to call me, several clients. And why they used to call me is because I stopped. This is something that you need to learn. When the project is on fire, like the client is upset, the PM doesn't know what to do. The developers, they're like just building stuff because they need to show work. Stop work, like, hey guys, let's organize this shit. Let's see where can we start. and start thinking about what do you need to deliver first. You know, what is the most important for the final client? The boss of the client, the final person that's gonna be this shown off. This has saved my ass a lot. It's like, no, we have to finish everything. No, you don't. You don't have to finish everything. There's not enough time. So if there's gonna be, 3 days to finish something up, finish the most important part, not everything. Don't offer that. Be honest. It's like, hey. So if they brought you to stop a fire, so I think they bring you to stop a fire a lot. They bring Mauricio to stop a fire a lot in Dublin. It's like, what do you guys do? It's like first stop, analyze the situation, and start organizing. Because usually,
I have an example. If the PM is not technical enough, sometimes their schedule about things that has to be done, it's wrong. Because you have to follow a certain path in order to achieve the general concept. So one of the fires that I had to attack was that guide the PM on things that had to be done first in the right order for the right developers.
Exactly. So if you know what you need to do, I have another example with a project. This was Telemundo Deportes. We were working with Alvaro. And features in Drupal can be a pain in the ass. And features were being managed really, really bad. We had to stop work, stop doing. Let's organize this first. Let's take a course of 2 hours of how to organize, resume. Sometimes it's better to do that than to try to keep working just because your boss is telling you, let's keep working. So that's a very good point that you brought up. So the expectation versus reality, sometimes it's that the expectation of the client is always the reality. So it's like they're never gonna tell you, okay, we're gonna give you 2 more months. That's not gonna happen. So so at the beginning, when you are in this project, is transform yourself into a judge, juez. No recuerdo cómo se pronuncia. So listen. So instead of when you're brought into a project that started, listen. Start listening what's going on. Start taking notes. Please take notes. That's why you have to have a path. I know you're a programmer, you want to have everything on the PC. Notes can save your ass, because there are 2 things about notes. If there's a meeting where they're blaming you, you can always take your notes back and say, hey, no, look, in this meeting, this is what happened. Remember? The other part is important is try to read the intrinsic interest teams, members and clients. What do I mean there? It's for example, when I was doing this project that was very difficult, there was this guy from a specific city, weird example because I just want to make a point. From Cincinnati or something like that. And he was obsessed about this section of the site that was about Cincinnati. And the PM, and this was the final plan, and the PM and the shop that we're working for, they just wanted to make the whole thing, and they were not paying attention to this interest of this specific person. So he was always complaining about why this Cincinnati page is not ready, why? And everyone okay, if you listen a little bit and you ask him why are you, because this section I have a relationship with the mayor and I want to show this to the mayor. Okay, now we understand why it is important. So let's put priority into that section. So sometimes, people don't listen, and then they don't see what's more important for the person. Sometimes it's the person involved. Sometimes it's not even some rational thinking there. It's what is important for the person that is leaving. Sometimes it's an irrational priority. Okay, we're gonna give this irrational priority to this guy. This is very important because that goes to everything, you know. It's like, you know, why this guy wants to finish this by this day, you know, because maybe he's going to leave for vacation next week. Understand that and start negotiating the interests of both parts. Like, okay, this guy's going to leave. Now I understand why I need to finish this by then. But if you don't talk and you generally don't interact with the people you're involved, then you cannot risk of each person. At the end of the day, you're always working with people. They're not machines, so they have priorities. They have things that you want to person that they're going to interfere in the project. Important too. Clarify expectation in written form and ask for agreement. If you know that you cannot make it, you know, write that down in an email. Say, hey, it's too tough. I'm not gonna make it. Write it down. Not saying a call that is not gonna get written anyway. So if you're discussing with your PM, you know, and he's like, "Are you gonna make it?" No, I'm not gonna make it. Why? And you start getting into an argument or a fight or anything, and then you say, "Okay, I'm not gonna say, okay, you're not gonna make it." And then the next meeting, the client is there, and the PM is, especially if it's a Lynette type of PM, she's gonna go and like, "Why didn't you finish?" I told you I'm not. No, you didn't. And he's like, "I can't believe it." And they're gonna lie in your face. It's true. These people is gonna lie in your face, and they're gonna try to save their asses. And maybe so clarify expectation in written format and copy the people that's important. Of course, you have to know who to copy, what to copy. Not always copy everyone. You have a backlog of what's going on. The same thing is when you know you're not gonna make it and you don't say it, because it's gonna be opposite. You know, you have your mother's birthday tonight, and they tell you, "Can you work a little bit late because we need to finish this?" You know you have to leave at 5 p.m. that day. "Oh yeah, I can do that." "Are you sure?" Yeah, of course. And then you leave at 5. That pisses everyone off. So that can be from every. So clarify your expectation written form. Sometimes like make it. You put that into a written format, and then you transfer that information into others. But when you do that, always listen to the intrinsic interest of every person. Your peer, you know, I know when, for example, I'm sorry that I'm gonna quote you, Álvaro, because you have been the guy that I have worked the most in projects. But I know when Álvaro is not gonna work that afternoon. But I know how to read that. And that's because we have worked so long together. And that's something that you start understanding. So don't try to, when you know it's gonna happen, it's like prepare yourself for it. You know? So now, when you're in this, you know, fire, or when you're with a lot of these variables together, like sometimes you got a bad PM but a great team, then you can work yourself up. Sometimes you have a good PM but a terrible team. Sometimes you have a good PM, a good client, and no team. You have to do it yourself, right? Right.
Yeah.
So don't panic. There's always an option. Almost always. Not always, but almost always. So the first thing, how to stop the mess. You identify everyone is angry. Everyone is it's a mess. The first thing you need to do is ask for help. Don't keep it to yourself. You're not making it. Ask for help. Ask for help doesn't mean, you know, hey, I need somebody that I'm not gonna make it. I need somebody to help me coding. You know, ask for help is when you don't know what to do. Hey, I want a second opinion. Hey, how can I do? You know, I'm gonna tell you this a little bit of anecdote. We were doing golfchannel.com, and it's a 3 million visits per day site. It's a lot of visits, 3 million per day. So we're doing the load tests for that site, and I was working with Andres Yahamin. I don't know if he's here, but I was working with him in that site in the performance. And what happened is that the site was not performing well in 3 sections. You know, we had to do under 3 seconds, and it was doing 25 seconds. You know, all with caching system that goes away, but when the caching system is on top of what you have. I mean, the performance of the site is without the caching system, because the caching system is a trick. So, you know, I spent almost a week and a half trying to figure out what went wrong. And why didn't I ask for help is because I was proud. I was feeling embarrassed of asking for help because I was supposed to be the expert. I was supposed to be the expert, and I didn't ask for help. No, I think this has happened to almost everyone. Like, no, how can I ask? That's wrong, you know. So when I finally went to not even the client, but my the guy, the CTO of the client, the guy that was basically my boss for that job, and I said, look, I'm sorry, but I have to tell you this. I've been dealing with this a week and a half, and it's not working. And the guy got really pissed off. Like, why the fuck did you ask for help 2 weeks ago? I mean, we have 5 people experts in that area, and you waited a week and a half. You lost what week and a half when we have to deliver this in 2 weeks? Yes, I'm sorry. He was really pissed off, and not pissed off because I couldn't. He was pissed off because I didn't ask for help. So the type of help that I'm telling you is like, not that, hey, Christian, do you remember the name of the library that was? No, that, you can Google that. Don't ask for help for stupid things. Ask for help for things that you cannot do, right? It's like, and you know, so we were so desperate, so I said, and what is asking for help? Asking for help is not only your peers. You know, I remember the moment I started asking for help, is like the other guy, no, I'm too busy, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Why didn't I try this? No. So asking for help is like, I took, you know, I went to some friends in the industry. I asked them, hey, do you have an expert in this? Okay, this guy is $150 an hour. Okay, bring him in. I'm gonna pay $150, okay, 10 hours, okay, $1,500. Is that, when it's a so difficult thing, it's okay to ask for that kind of help. You know, it was very expensive. And that didn't work either. But still keep asking. So until what point everyone was considering, and you know, it wasn't our fault. It was Akia's fault. It was a problem of the hosting system. And then we discovered, and it was, you know, I was really pissed off because at the end of the day, it wasn't our fault. It was the hosting fault. And they were the one pushing us that something was wrong. But anyways, the point is, ask for help. The other thing is like put your idea into paper. Like if you're in a fire, it's like, again, it's like the same thing as here, you know. A clarified expectation written format. It's like put your ideas into paper. It's like don't hurry to keep developing and keep adding, you know, as we say, you know, leña al fuego. Don't keep adding leña al fuego. Everyone understands. Wood into fire. Yeah, I don't think you would say that way, but you understand, right? The idea is like okay, let's stop. Let's create this app, put the ideas into paper, and then start prioritizing. Okay, this is a mess. Okay, what we need to do first? Okay, we need to figure out how we're gonna do it. So, for example, with Alvaro, when this problem happened with features, it's like, one guy who did something, he didn't understand how feature work. He did some work with other developers, and then so 2 weeks of work ended up being 2 days of work, and then the project was slow. Stop working. Let's put the ideas into paper. So this concept of why, the 5 whys of Toyota. It's like you start asking 5 times why. It's like, okay, why this feature was not uploaded? And then the guy said, okay, why? It's because I didn't pull the changes. Why you didn't pull the changes? Because I didn't know what changes to pull. Why you didn't know what changes to pull? And the theory goes that if you go 5 levels into why, you're gonna find a problem. So this is a very good thing to do when you try to prioritize them. Start with the why. So when the developer did something wrong, don't ask them like, hey, you did this wrong. This was not supposed to be. It's like, why you did it wrong? And the first why is not gonna be the answer. But okay, I did it wrong because I thought this was the best thing. Why the best solution? Why you thought it was the best solution? It's because that's what the internet suggested. Why do you think the internet suggested you that? You're gonna have no clue about this technology. Okay, so the problem is that you don't have a clue about this technology, not because you did the wrong architecture. So it's a very different things. Create a plan is the same, and then learn to say no. That's a very important thing. It's like if a PM is gonna tell you, hey, you gotta finish this for tomorrow. So you ask for help. You have the solution. You put the idea, prioritize, you present the plan, and then okay, you have to do this plan for tomorrow. Okay, you have to say no. You have a plan. The plan is gonna be 2 weeks. I can't make it. So, but the no has to be smart. It cannot be like a no. When somebody tells you no, this cannot happen. No, you can't close yourself to that. It's like no, 2 weeks no, but I can have you this ready for tomorrow. This is what I can offer you for tomorrow. Okay? No, this is not more important. The more important part is decide. Okay, let's switch it. So I'm gonna have this ready for tomorrow, and then in 2 weeks, okay, now we're talking. But learn to say no. But the smart no. Saying no is the most difficult skill that you're gonna learn. Typical mistake is like, yeah, I'm gonna, okay, no problem. This is cool. So how to stop this mess is like, you have to learn how to say no when things, you know that it's not gonna happen. This is very important, and that's when you earn your respect. You say no, but you offer something else. Never come with a plain no. Like, okay, no, but for tomorrow I'm gonna, and then you have to do it. If you offer something after you say no, is you have to do it. Don't go tomorrow to a party and drink until 3 a.m. and then you don't have the brains to work next day, because that you lose credibility when you do that. So here's some techniques. Is the holy grail to accomplish some of the things that I've been told. So I love spreadsheets, as you all know. Timelines, how to work on weekends and long nights, So a spreadsheet. Use a spreadsheet when you want to display a lot of valuable information. So when spreadsheets are better than Jira or a project management tool or an email, is when you want to show a lot of stuff in one script. In Jira, you have, description, the number, blah, 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 right? But let's say that you have, like we had in this project, 300 Jira tickets. How do you deal with 300 Jira tickets? And you want to know which one corresponds to what. You can organize all that into filters, into Jira. But sometimes a good spreadsheet that will tell you where you are in one snapshot will help a lot. You can create that for yourself, and you can create that helping the project. Sometimes you create spreadsheets for yourself. You don't have to share that to anyone. Like, okay, I'm going to organize myself into this, and then I have some links here to show you some of the spreadsheets that I use. So, for example, here, can you see that? Okay. Here we have the Golf Channel spreadsheet that we use to organize the whole thing. So we wanted to know, the priority, the pages, the sections, which one was done. So this has nothing to do with tickets. The homepage can have 200 tickets only for the ticker, and the ticker is a complex thing. You don't want to, you want a whole thing is like, if the ticker, if the architecture is done, the structure is done, the theming is done, then if you have dependencies, and then if you have, if we have the dependencies provided, do by MVC, provided by MVC in this case, comments, and then last comment, and who is the owner of this. This is a very complex one that went evolving because of the necessities. But this is an example of when you want to show a lot of information in one screen. This is fits and needs. What do you need? Who's responsible for what? In such a large project, you need a responsible for sections because we couldn't handle even 2 people. This was like a 7 or 10 people project. You have to organize yourself in another way. Where's the here? Okay. The other one that I wanted to show you. Let me see if here it is. How are we doing with time? Okay. All right. So, for example, here is another thing. This was a migration program, right? So again, this one was the name of the people involved needed to approve, from whom we're gonna, the organization, this is when you involve several people from several organizations, and you need to coordinate that. Don't wait to create this type of tools for your client. Don't wait for them. If you are smart enough, that will help you out and it will help the whole team as well. This is, for example, another thing that we needed to migrate. So, for example, look, the deployment responsibilities for different parts of the project. The deployment tasks, and this was something that I gave it to you, right? And this was, for example, for the deployment day. What task?
I use that myself.
Yeah, this is, for example, very cool because here's, for example, when you're gonna launch a site, this is exactly the task that you need to do on launch day. And the order, right? And the owner and the category. And the cool thing is like when are you going to do that exactly? So the deployment sometimes it requires more than 1 day. It's not always one single day. It's like when you're going to do it in several days, and different tasks have to do it, in different times. These are another tools, for example, so roadmaps, the stages, deployment docs, things that you need to show and organize yourself for different stages. If you're going to get responsible for some part of the project, you better have some type of organization on top tier because that will help you out. The other part is like timelines. Timelines are worthless, but you have to do them. Okay, we're going to create a timeline. You never follow the timeline, right? But you got to do it. I don't know why you got to do it. It helps out. So there are high-level timelines where you focus on the big picture. That's important because that helps you out to pace yourself. So Jira is for the day-to-day work, right? You know what to do the day. You have to finish some tasks every day. But it's important that you create a timeline. You have a responsibility. So responsibility. Okay, you're gonna be in charge of this whole section. Well, you better do your time for yourself. Even if you're gonna do it yourself. If it's gonna be more than 3 days of work, create a timeline. Organize yourself. Okay, how are we gonna finish this? Because you don't want to be 2 days before the deadline and you're gonna think about, okay, how I'm gonna. There's so much work, and then you rely on the PM to do something like that. And so here's another example of a timeline that was created for example, for San Francisco travel project. So again, it's another way of organizing. I'm not telling you exactly how to do it, but feel free to start organizing yourselves in 2 weeks. For example, look, here's the owner, the notes, what exactly we're going to do the week 0. These are not tickets. The difference with the tickets is that tickets are supposed to get very technical, and you're also supposed to is to make the work. This is only for organizing yourself so you can see a lot of information. Now, it's hard to organize something like this in Jira. You still can, but sometimes, changing something here, it's double click, you change it. Even sometimes you have this and you have Jira at the same time, and you have sprints in Jira. But this sometimes is fast and quick to go. To share this with everyone. Sometimes you are 2 or 3 people working in one part, you do this together, and you don't share with nobody else. Okay, the PM doesn't like this. Okay, you don't share it with the PM. That doesn't mean that it's going to help you. Do whatever it do to help you out. So, for example, when you have a fire, you can organize. If the PM, no, I don't want to hear anything new. I just want to fix the problem. Okay, you want to do that yourself, and then you present it to the client or the PM, and they're gonna love it because you're gonna be helping them do the job. Especially, they're gonna love it if they're sociopaths. They love when you do their work. Weekends and long nights. So this week we became experts with Santi about this. Is because there's sometimes that I have to be honest, there's nothing you can do. You gotta work on weekends and long nights. Sometimes it's just impossible. The idea is that we don't do this every single project every single time, because if we do that, something is wrong. Either the client is wrong, you have a fucked up project, you have a bad system, and you have two options there. It's like you come and say, hey, Santi and Andres, change me client, which we probably gonna tell you no. Or you can be part of the solution. You start using deadlines, start showing the client that you care, start showing your experience, and start organizing them. Because most of the time it's because of bad organization and yes to everyone and everything. So then that's when you start having this problem. So create a plan internally. Create some rules around it as a team. So when you have to work weekends and nights, you have to put some rules so you don't burn yourself out. So be a team player. If you can't make it today because you have your son's birthday, tell a peer, help me out tonight, but tomorrow you can take off. So be a team player. Help yourselves out. If you offer help, do it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stay tonight late, and then you don't show up. That's a very big mistake. You rather say, no, I'm not gonna show up. I'm sorry. Okay, no. But don't tell you will do it and you can show up. That's the worst thing you can do. So, for example, here are some rules that we have. And this is some of the people that live here. You are Alexis. Efrain is also there. Some people that live. But for example, these are some things that we did. It's like we had some rules. It's like don't work every weekend. Like if you don't work every weekend for a long time. Tell your client not to do that. You're gonna get burned. You're gonna hate people. You're gonna hate the project. You're gonna hate everyone. You're gonna be a very, very bad person if you do that. So the rules that we created is like, for example, with Santi is like, oh, and what you can do is sometimes you don't put the rule, but you can suggest this. It's like, okay, why don't we do like a person cannot work 2 weekends in a row, or Saturday and Sunday. Okay, this time I work Saturday, and next time I take off. Okay, this can help out to refresh my mind, and they're like, okay, but the other team member can work the next Saturday. And what you have to show and prove is that this is gonna make the project go faster. If you make everyone work every night, the stress and the tiredness is gonna make everyone go slower. So propose this thing. The other part is like, okay, we're gonna only work until 12 a.m. or midnight. Now, if we work until 11 or midnight, if you wake up at 7 or 8, you sleep 8 hours. So no, that's good, you know. But if I hate those people that stay up until 5 a.m. and then the next day they cannot even think. Don't do that. It's rather you just work every day until 1 hour specifically and then stop. I assure you that it's gonna be faster than work one day like that. That's why we always say like we hate night owls. Night owls are the los búhos nocturnos. It's the worst thing you can do. It's like you work 2 days really hard, you're a zombie, and you don't do anything during the day. So I'd rather work 8 hours a day, really hard, don't lose time, and that's the rule. So those are the type of rule that you can suggest. It's like, okay, let's work until midnight, or one day I work late, the next day I don't. One day, or this time is this group, and then next time is this other group, or this person is the other person. This person for them. Here we had, on this weekend, only this person can work. On the other person, these are days, and then 0. You see, 0, 8, 0, 8. So this is Alvaro started working a lot one time, as always. But this helps. If you tell why, you explain why this type of things help. It's important to be specific in deadlines. Again, another tool that you can create, or a spreadsheet. When you create a spreadsheet, for example, with this, we'll say, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to get finished by this day. 10:17, we're going to get exactly this. By 10:24, we're going to get exactly this. And this was signed a document by the client and us, and this is when we knew whether we could make it. So when you go to commit a deadline, you better know what you're suggesting, because if you fail in this, once you give it, you're not gonna have preview. So create documents based on that type of commitment. So if you offer, finish it. Next time, do not offer. So let's say you say, I'm gonna finish the homepage by Friday. And then you realize that it was a lot of work, and then you had to stay like 3 days in a row. Okay, you finish. Next time, you don't have to offer. But every time you say yes, they're gonna abusar. They're gonna abuse you. So don't do that. Like, again, is learn to say no. It's very important. And then, of course, you know of all these things, but use the project management tools like Jira, Filo Tracker, UTrack, time management systems, Trello, everything. And I've seen this a lot, like create a homepage. That's not a task. Complain if you see these kind of things. Create a whole, no, they have to be as specific as possible. And the projects that have the best the least problems are the ones that use the tools really well, right? Like you were mentioning, like say you have they're so organized, right?
Yeah.
But so organized that they don't have to think. So if you have an example of a good task, it's like give task to me. They're not gonna get pissed about that. Like don't do it in public. Like say hey, next time, why don't you give me the task? Look, this will help me out. So it's okay to tell the PM or the person you're working on, even if it's a client, that they're doing a bad job. They're doing a bad job. It's okay. Just don't be rude. Don't do it in front of everyone. And be honest and be careful the way you tell that. But and don't complain. There's a difference between whining. This is wrong. That's whining. Like, hey, you can improve this by doing this. That's a suggestion or you help. But whining, everyone hates whining. You know that whining is quejarse, right? Don't whine. Offer solutions and learn to say no, but with a solution behind. And that's how you deal with difficult times. That's it. That was it. Okay, that's it. Any questions? A ver, go ahead.
What if they expect you to come up with the specification of practice? You know, for instance, they say the ticket is 10 times. Just like that. And they expect you to come up with the specification, like it's your job.
Right.
I don't mind, but from what I understand, it's wild.
Then is again, they like listen to what you're doing. Like if you're a judge, then you see that this project manager has no clue. And then as a project manager, so what you can do is help out and create a system. Okay, so in this company, you may be working is like you operate a project manager at the same time. Just realize that's your role.
Yes,
And then if you do it right.
You have to do it
Put the
because of
standard.
the sake of yourself.
In Domentum,
So
that
it's all
usually
about-
happens. The PM is not technical. And that's why we have in all projects a technical lead that has to do all the
you have to
good stuff.
come up with the specification.
If you know how to do it right. But if you have a junior person next, don't make him do it because
Okay.
that will make trouble into the project and will create fight.
Well,
So in those cases, if you know how to do it, tell her. If you know that the other person is not gonna do a good job at specification, tell your client. Tell this is gonna bring me trouble in the future. That cannot happen. Either I help him create the project, but it's gonna take my time out of development. But if you let this happening, it's gonna create trouble. So in your case, and they trust you to create the specification, it's just how it is.
no, actually, no mind.
The thing is that they realize that you cannot do development and both things in the same timeline.
Okay.
So that's what, hey, okay, listen, you're making me do the specification. That's okay, I can do it, I have the experience. But to make it right, I'm gonna take 1 hour of the day to do that, and that's gonna be only 7 hours of development. Just realize that. I'm not gonna work 9 hours or 10 hours. Maybe one day, 2, yes, but not always. That will be my suggestion. Any other question? I don't know if that helps too much. But.
It's a soft question.
I actually want to add something. Sometimes you could ask, where is this specification coming from? Because sometimes it's coming from sales, or it's coming from marketing, or it's coming from like an outside client. So he doesn't know exactly. So maybe he can point the right direction and ask the right person where the problem is actually coming from. Maybe from there you can help to build it.
Any other question? Somebody from Colombia? No?
I have a comment at the end. Questions are done.
I was just try this before Christmas.
Very shy.
All right. Okay, thank you. I think you want to make a comment?
This is Mauricio here. I have a comment for you guys. Remember the book, The Clean Coder? Basically, the 3 chapters that we have to read for next week
are basic examples of what Andres just described about no and yes. The Uncle Bob has lots of experience with this. The examples in the book are very, very specific about how you can deal like saying no, but at the same time providing solutions and saying yes to some things. Take that into consideration because the examples are very good in that book. No one likes people that say no all the time. You're gonna get fired if you are. Yeah, if you're not positive, because people expect solutions, especially from us developers. So please read the Clean Coder book. It's an amazing book about the experience of someone that has been coding from the 70s. He has dealt with lots of situations. So, huh? No, the Uncle Bob. No. Yeah, I am old, but not at all. Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias. Enjoy. Ciao. Arrivederci.
Thank you. Bye.
Gracias.
Goodbye.
Excelente. Gracias. Excelente. ¡Comer! Oye, nadie comió porque estaba...